All right, this looks like it's officially the beginning of the end for the Warriors dynasty after president and GM Bob Myers announced he would not be returning to the team after an 11-year stint in charge, 12 years with the franchise. He's done an incredible job taking over the team at just like 36, 37 years old, and he built a team of a generation, 4 NBA titles, 6 finals appearances, 2-time executive of the year, and maybe the most controversial signing in the history of the NBA, deciding to bring in Kevin Durant, which obviously led to another 2 titles and a 3rd finals appearance. So good for him. He's moving on, but there have been rumblings that this felt like the end for the Warriors. They got that 4th title last year against Boston. They gave it one more go this time around, and it ultimately all has fallen apart. It looks like there's a lot of question marks up in the air for this Warrior teams, and Myers was just the first piece to go. Draymond Green, crucial piece. Klay Thompson, even Steve Kerr is apparently on the block / considering retirement after all this. It feels like the complete end for this team. Now, there is a little bit of hope. Maybe there have been some rumors that this team could bring in LeBron James, but that's a long shot. And good for them. Golden State, you need to move on. It's time to start rebuilding. I'd even consider trading Steph Curry to bring in some young assets. I know they would never do that, but I think this is the way it's got to go. You got to rip the Band-Aid off. You can't be all or nothing. You can't try and fiddle around here. They were completely outmatched by a Lakers team that was completely outmatched by a Denver Nuggets team. So it's a really bad spot for you to be in. It doesn't feel like you're really sort of close anymore. Everybody's on the wrong side of 30. Everyone's getting old. They're way too expensive. And the young core of this team is okay, but Jordan Poole seems to be a headache, and it really caused a rift in the team. When Draymond and Poole got into that altercation, the team really couldn't overcome that. Even head coach Steve Kerr said they couldn't overcome that. So without this man here, who was apparently the figurehead behind the scenes, had great relationships with Draymond and Steph and Kerr, and was able to navigate things, make things work. When KD came in, there's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes that we just didn't see. But Myers was pretty happy now. He's only 48 years old. He could easily move on to a new team, start it over again, but he left that up in the air. He knows any team would want to bring him in as an executive, but it sounds like he might be interested in moving on as a whole. He just launched a podcast. He had Steph Curry on as his first guest. He might want to do other things, and I get it. Sometimes you grind for 12 years like that, plus all the years before, you got to get into that position. Just all that grinding, you finally reach the mountaintop, you feel the end. You just sometimes want to take a break, let it go, decompress, maybe relax a little bit. I'm sure he's got a shit ton of money. When you build a dynasty like that, you get rewarded handsomely for it. So I'm sure he's got more money than he knows what to do with, and maybe just wants to relax, podcast, talk to people, watch basketball, enjoy it, and not from a front office position where you're always trying to analyze, scout, recruit guys, all that extra stuff that goes into it. But he had some nice statements, and he said it was always up in the air. His contract was expired in June, so it was always a question whether he would be back next season, and he just chose to move on. And he said you got to give it 100%. He knows he can't really do that anymore, day in, day out, the grind, and he's just not there anymore. So it wouldn't be right to stick around in that spot if he wasn't fully committed, and I like that move. I totally agree with that move. The bigger question is, what does this mean for the Warriors moving forward? A lot of question marks, like I said. What do you do with this team? They're not going to trade Steph Curry. I would. They're not going to. He's old and expensive, still playing at a very elite level when it comes postseason time. You do worry about possibly picking up injuries now in his older years. Not quite as explosive as he used to be. Also, total liability on defense, but I guess nobody plays defense in the NBA anymore. The real question is, do they bring back Klay? Do they keep Draymond? Both expensive guys. The new luxury tax system, salary cap in the NBA makes it very expensive to keep all these guys. Really can't pay 3 guys anymore. You can only pay 2 guys and a bunch of role players, trying to hope to get more parity across the NBA where it's a lot of 2 combinations and then a bench. I think they're going to move on from Draymond. I think they're going to move on from Klay. Klay gives you absolutely zero defense at this point, and his offense really isn't there anymore. He'll have a game here and there, but man, ever since those injuries, he's just got too many miles, too much banged up. He just doesn't have that explosiveness anymore. And Draymond, like he said, had that incident with Poole. I don't think they're going to trade Poole. They just extended Poole. I don't think they're going to get rid of him. I think they're going to move on from Draymond. But Kerr was pretty adamant where he said, we need Draymond. We're not competitive without Draymond. And I tend to agree. Draymond is an absolute menace on the court. His basketball IQ is through the roof. He seems to always be making plays, the right kind of plays in playoff games. Now, he has some stinkers now and then, which is hurtful at this age. I think you got to go full reset with Golden State. I know you don't want to hear it, but Golden State fans, you got 4 rings. I think you can all die happy now or suffer through another 10 to 15 years, possibly trying to build this back up. It is a good culture, but what happens if you lose these guys? If Kerr retires, you don't bring back Draymond, you don't bring back Clay, and it's just Steph and some other guys who have been around there. I don't know what the future would hold for this team, but they're not close to an NBA title. The dynasty is now officially dead. I think we can put our stamp on it now. And it was a great run, like I said. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Are the Warriors done for good? What are they going to do in the offseason moving forward? Would you try and ship out Clay and Curry and Draymond, start over? Or are you building around keeping 2 of those guys around, whether it's Curry and Draymond or Curry and Clay? What would you do? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Again, like this video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already, share this video with your friends, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.